Wasted so many hours, days, weeks going to estimates, on the job estimates for customers that were never my customer. They're never going to buy from me anyway. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple of things, a couple of tasks that I do that mitigate the time that I waste on tire kicking customers and people who are never going to buy. They just want a price and they want to waste your time. Let's get into it. And welcome back. Real quick, this video is sponsored by Jobber. More on them in a little bit, but we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Of course, estimates and customers who waste time, you don't want to deal with it. There's many things that you can do and what I do to mitigate all this crap. And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with the person who's actually going to do the estimate. Got to be prepared. Be prepared means you got to know your numbers, which means you got to know what you need to be profitable. You've got to be able to, you're going to have a tape measure. I use a laser distance finder for certain things. Super time saving. I've got multiple videos on the laser thing. Like it saves so much time when you're measuring stuff. You've got to educate your customers. Almost all my customers know about my pricing going into it. These two estimates that I went on today, both of them were free. I was literally in the same area, and also one was a referral from my wife. So I'm not going to charge for that one. But I already, that customer already gave me the price that the other contractor gave them, which I already knew what I was working with. So I know I'm not wasting my time. I know that budget is about what I'm at as well too, a little higher, but I can meet that budget, or at the same time, they can come up to my quote wise as far as what I'm going to be charging for the job. No big deal. But you and I need to be prepared going into estimates. It starts there. Basically, have, some sort of garb, with your business, clean. I mean, I'm not clean shaven or anything like that, but at least I'm not, I'm not greasy completely. And there's some times where I tell customers, hey, I'm on a job site. I can be there afterwards, but I'm not a suit and tie kind of contractor. I'm on the job. I'm dirty. I'm sweaty. Like I've gone looking really bad. Most of them don't care. They want somebody there on site. And a lot of times, you guys, you probably know this. I'm not telling you anything different. It's hard to get somebody to show up to do an estimate, or even get something that's a legit estimate, not just like a pencil whip, something that they don't care about, like a legit estimate for somebody, with somebody who actually wants to do the job. That's very valuable in today's times, being it's 2024 and Biden economics, all that good stuff. So it goes without saying, bring up price as soon as possible. I bring up price on the phone before I even get there. And especially if I'm obviously charging for an estimate, they already know because they're already paying for it, but they know a ballpark range of what it's going to be. But I bring up price right away. Absolutely 150%. Like, all right, this project usually goes from here to here. Like, just letting you know, that's where it goes between this price and that price. How, is that fit within your budget? Do we need to do something else to fit something else, take something else as far as scope of work off the job so it fits within your budget? You never adjust the price. You only adjust the scope of work. Because your price is your price. You got to be able to get paid. You got to pay your mortgage. You got to have a roof over your head. It doesn't matter. If you're doing free work, you're not going to be in business for very long. So adjust the scope of work, not your pricing and not your labor hours. Don't overshare. Let the customer talk. They will absolutely want you to let them talk. Just ask open-ended questions. Don't ask too many open-ended questions because you want to be in and out and be done, especially on free estimates. It's your time, right? So you get the information you need, take your measurements. That's it. But you can always, you're going to want to talk about their cats. You're going to talk about their kids. All, the big plans, eventually down the street, or down the road, they're going to want to knock out this basement wall here and completely revamp the entire basement. That's not what you're there. Don't give them an opportunity to ask for quotes for all that kind of stuff. More than likely, it's not going to pan out and you're wasting your time. Just go ahead and focus on the task at hand, what they called you in there first. Give them that estimate. And then say, hey, in the future, if you still like us, after we're done working together, I'll be more than happy to give you guys an estimate for something else that you're wanting. But we can focus on this thing right now. That being said, you guys, under promise and over deliver, just under promise. So if you think, okay, which goes into a couple things, giving time frames for when you're going to show up to a job. Don't give exact time. So between 1 and 3, between 3 and 6, between noon and 4, 4-hour window, give or take. Don't give exact times because that's this opening you up to letting the customer down, and you never get a second chance to make a first impression, especially on estimates. You want to be on time, you want to be early, you want to be prepared, like I've already said, but absolutely 150%, you want to underpromise. So don't set expectations too high. Matter of fact, don't set any, if you can, don't, hey, I'll be here between this and this, and I'll get you the estimate within a week, within 2 weeks. don't overpromise your estimates. Of course, they're going to want it sooner than later, but not everybody can just go straight home, or obviously we're going to get into it in our sponsor of this video, right on your phone and exactly right then and there send off an estimate. Sometimes I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to write these estimates. It's going to take me maybe 5 to 10 minutes to write these estimates real quick, and we're going to shoot them off. One's going to be probably $17,000, and the other one's going to be about $30,000 to $40,000 for what they're asking for. Again, nothing crazy, but it helps, and you don't always have time, and you don't want to set that precedent to always get those estimates right out there, because it puts pressure on you, undue pressure. Because what if something else happens? Somebody else calls. You have a fire to put on another job site. You don't want that stress. So just be like, all right, I'll get this, this estimate out to you within a week. But little do they know, you're probably gonna get out to them the next day, or even in my case, today, get it out to them. That's where Jobber comes in. Of course, you guys, I obviously an ambassador of Jobber, but Jobber is one of those things that saves me so much time wasted on customers. Also, I usually sometimes before Jobber, I wouldn't give it estimates, but I can't, somebody's reaching out to me via, I wouldn't even worry about it. Now with their way of actually inputting certain tasks, and I can just literally within a couple minutes after I'm putting in, the customer's information, their phone number and their email address is most important. I can, a couple clicks, bam, bam, bam. I got, a bathroom remodel in there. I can obviously tweak it to match the exact, whatever, measurements that this exact estimate's going to have. And I can get an estimate, and it takes me maybe 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, and it goes directly to their phone via text message, and I also send it via their email. And I can get notifications right then when they open it up. And I'll, of course, just, even if it's a tire kicking customer, I get a lot of those, absolutely 150%, you guys. I'll just say, hey, send out your estimate, and they'll be, thanks. And that's the last I hear about them. They never, ever text me back. And I basically reach out one more time, hey, do you have any questions about the estimate I sent out to you last week, yesterday, whatever it is. But they usually ghost me, because obviously, tire kicking customers, and the point of this video, they're just wanting a price and want to waste somebody's time. They may not even know how much anything costs. They might have $1,000 budget, but their job costs $40,000. It happens. They have absolutely no idea. If you've done your pre-qualification with your customers, you shouldn't be in that position in the first place. But the customers slip through the cracks. And even though they're not actually buying anything from you, I'm absolutely calling them customers, because, they could buy something from you down the road, right? So they're all customers. And even if they don't buy anything from you, they're still customers, because they could always, the potential of them bringing revenue to your business is still there, even though it's probably super, super low, but it's still there. Jobber, really, they have this 5-star rating where you can list off, okay, is this going to be a 5-star, which is basically a done deal kind of estimate lead, or you're just waiting for them to sign it's a preliminary, just sign the estimate, sign the contract, and we're going to get going, or a 1-star where it's basically a tire kicker. You have no idea, cold call, somebody came out to you. So Jobber helps in that way as well, but mainly it's time saving. I would have both of these, by the time this video is over, I would already have both of these estimates sent out and done off my plate. Absolutely love it for Jobber. So many things you guys can do. There's marketing campaigns. There's a lot you guys can do. Link down in the description of this video, plus right down here. I'll probably put it down there as well. We do have a free trial. I highly recommend you guys this. If you're uncertain about things, just check it out real quick. I'll close this video out with you guys, but last but not least, follow up. So you send out you spend some time, if you're not using, a CRM, and you're spending a bunch of time estimating, you're going to the house for free, you're investing your own time in this entire project, you send out an estimate and you don't follow up, because, people may miss the email, they might miss a text message, or, think it's spam or whatever. Follow up with your customer, because it really does make a difference. And I've had it where customers are like, hey, they've reached out to me because I forgot to follow up, and I did send it out, but for some reason, not Jobber, but for some reason, my QuickBooks or whatever, it didn't send it out. So I had to go back in there and then real quick send it out to them, and I confirm. It's basically confirming with the customer, hey, you did receive it. Hey, you followed up on your end. The work is off your plate back onto the the potential customer to say yes or no, and then make them tell you no. So follow up with them, a couple of days or so. You don't want to be obviously spammy, but hey, John Doe, did you get my estimate? Do you have any questions about it? Blah, blah, blah. Most of them, either they'll ghost you if they're, tire kickers, but some of them are like, hey, we got your estimate, Richard. It's just more than we want to spend. Okay, no problem. Is there certain things we want to cut out of the scope of work, or are we just so far out of line as far as your budget that you guys decided to hire somebody else? Sometimes they'll be like, hey, we decided to go with a different contractor. I just got this text message 3 days ago. on a job the estimate that I really did not want it, because the customers wanted everything. It's a basement finishing. They wanted everything, their flooring, their tile, their moldings, everything cut outside. The pain in the butt factor for this job was really high, and I did price it that way, but I was more than happy not to get the job site, not to get to the job because of that factor. And I didn't. They hired somebody else apparently. Fantastic. I did not want that job. Follow-up is definitely key. I follow up with everybody now, and in Jobber, it makes it super easy for that too. You can always just remind them, send a reminding text. It'll automatically, and it also automatically asks them for reviews. I'm really bad about reviews, and you can set it. Your CRM should be able to set, either auto review requests, or you can manually put in review requests as well. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video.